Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Gerbil. It's been a moment, hasn't it? It's actually been about 2 weeks, maybe more, since my last post. Thank you to everybody who reached out. I had a couple Discord people reach out and say, hey man, you doing okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay. Just super busy, but things are starting to calm down, so hopefully I can get back to posting. And I've got a lot of stuff on the back burner that I've really been saving that I wanted to talk about. I'm not really sure that I'm gonna have time to share it all, so I thought I'd just do a couple of a couple highlight moments and some thoughts, some general thoughts I have about the new Kryat Raid and some other things that I've seen. So I hope this is a informative, maybe thought-provoking video. I'm going to go through the short things quick, and then I'll end with the Kryat Raid and some burnout and other thoughts and considerations I have. So anyway, I'm happy to be posting again, and I'm glad you're all here. So let's get started, shall we? All right, so first thing I want to talk about is pack expectations. So recently, we had this pack in the store that provided guaranteed 330 shards of a character for 8,000, what is that, shard shop currencies. And it's a really good deal. I personally spend my shard shop currencies immediately. It's one of the best places to get geared 12 pieces, so I use them. But I saw lots and lots of people frustrated and complaining that they got really bad pulls, like, I don't know, like mine right here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and the magic drop is, guess what it's gonna be? Hutt Rebel Soldier. Yeah, like, I think he's like the third least geared character in the game. There's 240-ish, 45-ish characters in the game now. I'm not entirely sure how many, but yeah, he is among the least geared in the entire game. So do expect him for a Rebel GL soon. But yeah, there was a lot of complaining about these pulls, and everybody's saying that you're almost guaranteed that the CG is only giving the bad characters. And it occurred to me, of course you're likely to get a bad character. Why? Well, at the front of this, here we go. Let's scroll to the left. I'm not sure if I do it here. On the left side, there is a bunch of great people. We can see the Inquisitors over there. We see Zori, Hondo, Admiral Radis, Dash. Basically, all of the recent legendary characters like Starkiller, all those marquee characters. Those are good, but that's really only like 15 to 30-ish characters. And as you scroll to the right, you've got another 100 to 150 meh. And you know what's not there, of course, naturally, is like the GLs and the legendary chase characters, like Jedi Knight Luke or Commander Luke Skywalker or C-3PO. None of those characters are there. So all of the better, traditional characters that have been in the game for a long time, they're not, of course you're not going to get them. And so really, I mean, like, if you look at the scroll bar there, the width of that bar in a scroll on most computers represents the total width of that space. So that first screen is all good characters, but that's only like 1/6, maybe 1/5 of the full span of options. So my point is, the probability of getting a new good, in quotes, recent character is like, at best, maybe 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7. So what is that? It's like a 12-13% chance. Otherwise, you have like an 80% chance of getting one of these older people that you likely already had geared up. Anyway, why am I making a big deal out of it? Because there will be more packs like this in the future. There will be more packs like this. I actually really expect a similar pack like this to come soon for ally points, like maybe 100 or 200,000 ally points. Maybe something like that as we get near May 25th, which is the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So anyway, let's move on. I just want to say, duh, people, balance your expectations and you won't be disappointed. Here we go. On an upside, best bug I've seen. How do you kill a Jedi? You slap your ally. I just don't know what's happening here. Moff Gideon makes a total 90-degree left turn, slaps his Imperial Trooper buddy, and then Plo just falls down. This cracked me up so much. It really did. Another another nice bug just shows how OP Tuskens are. They are so fast. Jango can't even hit the ground before he's been beat up. Of course, he's got damage immunity, but I mean, look at this. Homeboy is just frozen in air. It's like the Tusken team are all Quicksilver, like Marvel Quicksilver. I think that's the guy's name. Quicksilver? I can't remember his name. Magneto's son, the guy who moves at amazing speeds, or the Flash in DC. Another real quick, nice touch. I wasn't expecting this, but I tried it for fun. The altar shows up in the pit. I posted this on Reddit, and a couple people were like, well, duh, it's always been there. You know what? Most people will never see that, because most people are never going to take Jabba the Hutt into this old event. Somebody else was like, well, it can't kill the altar or whatever. And I was like, oh, good gosh, guys. I'm not trying to kill the altar with the ultimate. I mean, seriously, if I'm taking a Galactic Legend into the Night Sister event, well, you know what? I'm not concerned about losing. So again, people, let's keep things under, in reasonable perspectives. Anyway, now to the big topic of the video here. So the Kryat Raid. All right, this is level 6 right here. So all 4 of these homeboys are Relic 8. I in the last week and a half, I dumped a lot of credits and crystals and all my resources into Relic 8ing Chrysanthemum and SWGOH so that I could take a full squad of 4. I say full because you really don't need Lando here to max this. And the day I did this, I lost the battle the first time. I got 2.1 million. I was like, okay, not bad, not bad. And then on my second attempt, I maxed it at 2.7. And that was without watching any strategy guides or anything. Now, I'm not trying to boast. What I'm trying to do is set up a point of reference, because then the next time the raid came around, it took me about 15 attempts to max it at 2.7 million. And it was so frustrating. I had to go back and rewatch this very video that we're watching now. And I had to put it up on my computer and play the video and play it on my phone, pausing and mirroring the exact same moves. And now what's notable is I didn't change any mods. Nothing on these 4 characters have changed. Absolutely nothing in that time period. And yet, it took like 15 or 20 attempts recreating the exact same actions to achieve the same outcome. Then that was the second raid with this squad. Now today was the third one, and I went through a similar situation, only it was even harder. I was not able to break 2.4 million in my first 10 or 15 attempts. And then as I started experimenting with the strategy, breaking away from what I had done previously, I was failing to break 2 million damage. And I'm really thinking to myself, like, what is going on? Like, why was this so easy? Was it purely luck, RNG, the first time? And then the second time was a struggle, and then the third time felt impossible today. Just utterly impossible. I never actually maxed it today. I gave up after nearly an hour of experimentation and just accepted a score of about 2.3-ish million. Now, I'm not complaining about losing. That's not my intention here. What I am disappointed in is the sheer amount of time it takes based on what seems to be absolute random sequence. Now, the order is the same. I understand if I hit the dragon, I feed a turn meter, if we hit the bombs, blah, blah, blah. I know that. What I'm saying is that following the exact same sequence, when the crate would take its first turn, I could post anywhere from 65,000 damage with a full Relic 8 squad up to almost 500,000 doing the exact same thing. And I had to wonder, is this sustainable for the long term of the game? Because in a high guild like mine, we are running the crate. The moment we defeat it or the raid ends, it launches again. So it is running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which means for 2 weeks it will be twice a week, but then that third week it will be 3 times in 1 week that day 1 initiates at least. And if RNG is truly such a factor in success, then by the time you complete 5 battles if you are really attempting to achieve the max, because some people like me are a little obsessive compulsive and we struggle to settle with less than before. And that is a character flaw of myself, but I know many other people, especially the kind of people that this type of game appeals to, are going to have that struggle, and we are going to naturally feel the drive and the need or the necessity to complete these events at our own previous expectation, or meeting at least the expectations of our guilds. And even if our guild is like really humble and awesome and just says, do your best, don't worry about it, again, people like me are going to really struggle with that and not just do the very best. And so if 5 battles require 3 or 2 attempts each, and each attempt takes 4 minutes, right? So that's 5 times 4 minutes is 20 times 2 or 3 attempts. That's an hour every 3 days, or every 4th day perhaps. That is a considerable amount of time. Also, like it's worth noting that, and I see a lot of people already talking about this over in Reddit, that in my guild, for example, which is about 430 million GP, we are currently settling at the 90 million crate, which is decent, but historically, when we would do the Sea Pit or the Sith Raid, I would say only 10 people were actively involved in most of those. The Sea Pit probably had about 15, but that meant the other 30 to 35, sometimes 40 members of our guild were able to just take a break and hang out and ride along, coasting. And honestly, no one was upset about that. If you want to do the raid, do the raid. If you don't want to do the raid, don't do the raid. There was always people who enjoyed doing it, and we would rotate. Now, of course, with this raid, it's creating a situation where already leadership in the guild is talking about, recruiting and emphasizing expectations based on raid engagement. And I agree that is the way forward to continue to progress in the game, especially for late game accounts. But that is worrisome, because as I discussed about this back in January, that begins to create a situation where guilds once again may be shaken up, broken, rearranged, with people exiting, forced out, or joining guilds based on yet another in-game requirement. And so that creates a bit of animosity between the really, really engaged, hyper-performing people and the casual, more chill players who make up the vast majority of the player base, actually. So I'm really beginning to wonder if, as awesome as this raid is, I do have some problems with it, but I do like it also, if it actually is a substantial net negative in the long term. Because let's face it, the raid has only been out about 2 weeks, and already there's a considerable amount of people concerned about the time requirements of it, and I am already one of them. I saw one interesting comment that they said, why not double the length of the raid to 6 days and double the rewards? That way you get the same rewards, but you don't have to do it every 3 days. You do it like basically once a week. And I would be so down for that. Absolutely so down for that. And it's also very insignificant, but the opening animation, I am already so sick of seeing. It's only been, 3 weeks again, and I am just sick of seeing it. So if like CG would allow us to just skip that animation, that alone would go a long way for me. Or, you know what, perhaps something like the Galactic Challenge. Once you have hit max rewards with a particular squad, maybe, and maybe you can save those squads, then simmable, right? Like, or maybe if you maxed it like 8 times or something, or 10 times, or knowing CG, it'd be more like 40. But provide that long-term sim option for individual players. And I know that would require some interesting coding or whatever, but it's definitely within the realm of doable, and it would go a long way for quality of life. Otherwise, there's so many other issues in there. Like my alt account, the Gerblet, is I'm beginning to notice a serious credit crunch. Like the basic credits used to be absolutely among the most common resources in the game, both for my alt at about 2.5 million GP, and of course my main, which is about to hit 10 million soon. I used to freely buy mods in the mod shop, you know, at 4 million credits and did not worry about it, because between the Sea Pit, between the Sith Raid, and then simming the original pit and the tank, I could guarantee a steady inflow of 5 to 6 million credits between those raids every week, guaranteed. So it was a mod and a half basically a week. Now I'm at a point where I've diminished from about 40 to 20 million credits. I know that's still a lot, but that's half of my reserve, and it's not replenishing. Not at a rate I think that is reasonable for new to mid-game accounts, and definitely not for late accounts like mine, where I am accustomed to buying mods in the store. Now maybe I'm just spoiled in that regard, but my you know, you have to realize that in a new account, thank you Siri, in a new account, it takes 6.5 million credits roughly to level a character from 0 to 85. That now takes a considerable amount of time to store up, not to mention all of the countless mods that you acquire and have to level and then sell when they, you know, basically roll no speed or are worthless. So modding and upgrading modding is something that now my alt account basically is not doing. It is totally on hold, and that is a big concern, and I think something that CG has once again overlooked, that the availability of credits has substantially dropped. Now that could obviously be offset with more credit heists and some other things, but I think that the new raid reward structure has definitely led to a lot of unforeseen problems, and I'm really hopeful, like Arnold said, that there may be another reward restructuring in the near future. I'm really hoping for it, crossing my fingers, because it's still too difficult to get tokens for new and mid-game accounts, and credits is another one, and there's other issues as well. But anyway, that's it for today. I don't want to bore you all too much. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, you know the drill. Please hit that like, hit that sub. I would do appreciate it, and I will see you all later on the tables. Take care. Bye bye.